Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for joining our Fall Product Program 2019 virtual training. My name is Owen Myers. I'm the North District Executive and also the Popcorn Product Sale Staff Advisor.
My name is India McMiller. I am the Learning for Life Executive and Resale Advisor.
And before we dive into the meat and potatoes of our presentation tonight, here's a quick word from our technical all-star here tonight supporting us.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. To send in your questions tonight, we are not going to have any voice send-ins. We're just going to be doing messaging. So to do that, you're going to look at the very top of your screen. There's going to be a little icon dashboard. You're going to choose the second one in from the left. It's a little talking bubble. Click on that and send your messages to the council staff. We will not be answering questions at this time, but we will at the end of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Denise. So, hold on just a second, our first technical difficulty of the evening. There we go. All right, so here we have a look at things to kind of come in our presentation. This is the general agenda that we're going to follow this evening. We'll try and keep this short and concise for you and leave plenty of time for answering questions at the end. This presentation is exactly what was delivered at the in-person training this past Saturday, August 10th. So everything that participants there received is what you will also receive here this evening. There was a couple of handouts that went out at the training, and those are things that you can pick up at either one of our service centers, either in Kenosha or Milwaukee. And several of the documents are going to be available online starting tomorrow on the Resources tab, which we'll discuss a little bit later on ThreeHarborsScouting.org. So you'll be able to go back and look at any part of this. And then this training will also be reposted tomorrow on our website after we get done here this evening. So moving into our first kind of thing to talk about is really why we're doing the product sales training. Obviously, Wreaths and Popcorn provide a really, really huge program for our council. It's one of the biggest things that we focus on whenever it comes to the fall time period, and some of the numbers you see in front of you kind of explain why. With both sales, a huge amount of money goes back to units all over the council to be able to support the programs that you're putting on within your units. It goes back to supporting a scout going out to buy their first uniform or earn their first merit badge or be able to go to camp for the first time and experience something that they never thought they were going to get to experience. So that's the primary reason why we're doing it. It also supports the council on a variety of levels, helping put together things like scouting the zoo, District Klondikes, being able to support our camps and service centers. And then, of course, both of our companies that we work with through Wreaths and Popcorn also support manufacturing and farming here within Wisconsin and throughout the United States. So a really cool bonus to participating in the sale. But of course, the most important part is the youth. That's obviously why we're all here this evening, why we go out to work as hard as we do to be able to put on this program. And both the Wreath and Popcorn sale provide kind of all of what scouting is about. Entrepreneurship, that first life lesson in going out and putting on that brave face, walking up to a door, trying to make a sale, and experiencing the joy and satisfaction of making that first sale, or experiencing that no for the first time, and also an important part of growing up and developing character that we seek to do in scouting. So it's kind of the quintessential part of the scouting program to participate in the Wreath and Popcorn fall sale. So moving into some of the changes that we have in the fall 2019 program compared to years past. I'll talk about Popcorn really quick, and then India will discuss Wreaths. So going into the fall sale beginning in roughly February of this year, we really wanted to streamline the sale and make it more volunteer-focused. We recognize that all of you out there and all of your leaders are busy, and so we want to make this a rewarding and successful part of your experience both in scouting and for your unit. So that's the approach that we took when coming around to making a lot of these changes. And one of the biggest changes that you and your youth will notice are the incentives this year. This year we've partnered with the National BSA Scout Shop with their prize program, which I'll discuss a little bit more in a moment. We've also changed some of the council level prizes on the popcorn side of things to make them more local based and try and breathe new life into some of the offerings that we've provided on the council level. Process-wise is where you as the colonel will notice a lot of changes, and again, I'll discuss a lot more of these later in the training this evening, but we wanted to make it less cumbersome for you to be able to participate in the sale and for your leadership experience leading the sale. So a return policy this year, we will not be having any cap on how much can be returned. For popcorn kernels, in the past, you might remember that there was a 20% cap on returns. This year, we're doing away with that. We want to make it easier for your unit to go out and be able to sell. So when it comes to returning, you can return everything that you take out for the show and sell that you don't need for your take order, so long as it's not damaged, and we'll be happy to take that back. Reconciliation, a process in the past where it had to be done in person, whether you had returns or not, is going to be done all online this year via email, phone call, and through Pecatonica's website. That will make a lot more of the administrative side of things done via online processes, as you have time to be able to do that rather than having to come into one of our service centers or even a warehouse or something like that. The sale length, we have increased that by an additional week to be able to allow more time for our new scouts that join, especially in early to mid-September, to have a little bit more time to go out and participate in the sale and really fundraise for their first time and participate in scouting in their first month. And then finally, we're moving away kind of as the council as a warehouse. What we'd like to do is, with the return policy going away, your units will be able to get more for their show and sell order because you don't need to be worried about getting stuck with it. And so we'd like you to make a bigger show and sell order at the beginning and then possibly return a little bit more rather than coming back to the council either in Kenosha or our Kenosha, Milwaukee, or any one of our warehouses to pick up product as the sale goes along. India, do you want to talk about wreaths?
Mm-hmm. So we have just a few changes for the wreath sale this year. The first being that all units, including those that are returning, must register a wreath vendor account, as our registration process has been modified. We've just changed a few fields so that everything will be more streamlined for us, and so this will be for our wreath vendors. So you register through our council already, so now you have to register with the company that will be providing us with the wreath. And everyone will have access to that registration process online on our council website, and that's a step-by-step process. Our second change is that units must sell at minimum 10 Fallen Hero wreaths to attend our Fallen Hero wreath laying ceremony in Union Grove later this year. So this is just kind of like an incentive to create a bigger push and representation for the Fallen Hero wreaths that we'll be selling. And as a reminder, those are a donation, so there's not going to be a physical product provided to customers who purchase the Fallen Hero wreaths. They're just a donation because those actual products will be used at the wreath laying ceremony.
So the BSA Prize Program is one of our big changes. And as I look on the screen that's displayed on the Join Me, there was supposed to be a picture of the order form on there. However, that apparently did not work. So our second technical problem of the evening. But the National BSA Prize Program is a new program, as I mentioned, that we're going with this year. We chose it because of the diversity that it offers in prizes. We appreciated the greater investment that they put into their prizes. It has things that kind of cover the basis of everything. We have an Oculus VR headset. We have an Xbox One console. We have a Nintendo Switch. We have camping gear that is top of the line. We have all sorts of other toys and games and gizmos that are really popular with the kids. And because it is through the National BSA program, it's all locally supported. So in the past, we've had to any questions that we got, we had to reach out to our representatives who are out in Ohio, which there's nothing wrong with that, but the ability to go right outside of where the field staff works and talk to our national BSA representatives is really, really nice. If there's any questions you have about being able to place your prize orders when it comes to the end of the sale, if you have any questions about the prizes themselves, our scout office here is going to be able to answer those questions. They're going to have a display here starting soon of all of the prizes that are available through the BSA Prize Program. So when new scouts come in the fall to be able to purchase their uniforms and stuff, they'll be able to also see the prize programs that they're going to be able to participate in if they join the popcorn sale. So we get that local support, and a really, really nice piece is that the BSA Prize Program is fully integrated with Pecatonica River Popcorn's website. So units that are participating in the prize program, those who have opted for the 33% commission, those, whenever you go in at the end of the sale to place your order, you'll be able to also place your order for the prizes straight on the website without having to go to a different website or follow any instructions there. It's all right there, and they all work very seamlessly with one another. And because the picture unfortunately didn't come up on this slide, we will be uploading this again to the resource tab, which I'll talk about later, so you are able to see it. And this is included with your bags that you can pick up from either the Kenosha or Milwaukee service centers. Moving along with incentives, like I mentioned, we tried to take a look at the council-level prizes that Three Harbors was offering and breathe a little bit of new life into it and kind of focus on some things that we might be able to offer more at the local level, change out some things that were a little less popular with Scouts. And so starting at the very base level with our 750 Club, Level 1, if your Scout goes out and hits that level, then you'll be able to get 2 free tickets to either a Bucks or Admirals game, depending on whichever one your Scout prefers. And with each one of the council-level prizes, what will happen is, no matter if you're participating in the BSA Prize Program or not, then you put this in at the end of the sale, and you'll receive a voucher emailed or sent via mail from the National BSA warehouse, where you'll be able to redeem that here with our local council office for the prizes that are discussed here. The Discovery World Family Membership, located in Milwaukee, is the next prize level. So that's good for an entire year. So for this case, it'll be for all of 2020. The Winners Club prizes are offered by Pecatonica River, and those are available also for any youth that's participating in the sale, whether or not their unit does participate with a 33 or 35% commission. If you have any questions about the Winners Club prizes, we'll be happy to forward those on to Pecatonica River, as again, they're the ones who administer that part of the sale. The Brewer Sports Package is the next level, and that's remained largely unchanged for the last couple of years. Essentially, bring your family out to a Brewers game next summer. Legoland Florida trip, we've only had a couple of Scouts ever reach this point, but if your Scout sells $12,000 worth of popcorn, then you'll be able to go down to Legoland, Florida for 4 days with your family. And then the same thing applies to Universal Studios if you reach the $16,000 mark.
For REITs, our incentives are as follows. The first weekend of the sale is our Blitz weekend, so that's going to be from September 13th to September 15th. And the top 3 Fallen Hero sellers council-wide will receive a Visa gift card in the amount of $200. Our next incentive is for the top overall salesperson in each district. As you all know, we've redistricted to 4. We've condensed from 8 to 4, so that'll be 4 winners, and they will receive an iPad mini. And then our top 12 units in total sale, council-wide, will receive free product delivery because in November, we're having most of our units come to either State Fair or Dakota to pick up their products, but if you're one of our top 12, we will come to you instead. So that's our incentives for the REIT sale.
So I see a question came in on the chat regarding the prizes, and I wanted to answer before we move out of prizes. The question is whether or not you can re-sign up for the prize if you decided to opt out of the prize. You wanted to go for that 35% commission rather than the 33% commission for whatever reason. If you want to make your change on the prize levels, you can absolutely do that. Just email popcorn@threeharborscouting.org, and we'll be able to make that change for you. One of the big things that we wanted to do with the prize program is breathe that new life into that portion of the sale so that we get more units that are excited about what we're offering from the prize program. So next we move into the dates for the sale. So the next date for the popcorn sale that's coming up is going to be next Wednesday, where the show and sell orders are due online. You're able to find how your unit did last year with show and sell orders on your Pecatonica portal for your unit. If you have any questions about accessing that, we're happy to help as well. But you just need to look at the historical data that Pecatonica provides. If you're a new unit and haven't participated with show and sell in the past and don't really know a good number to start off with, we recommend starting off with a kind of low goal or something like that of $250 per scout participating, just to give kind of a ballpark estimate for what you should order for your show and sell. Again, because there are no returns, there is no return policy, you're more than welcome to bring back anything that you don't sell and don't need for your take order. So just try and make it an educated guess, and we'll work with you from there to kind of figure out what's going to be right for your unit. Our show and sell distribution dates are going to be September 10th and 12th. September 10th will happen at C.H. Coakley for units a little bit closer to Milwaukee that might be convenient. In the September 12th date, we are still working on finding a warehouse that's available for our southern units. The warehouse that we've partnered with in the past no longer has the lease that we've been using. We're close, we believe, to partnering with Uline to be able to use one of their warehouses along the I-94 corridor. But as soon as we get that confirmation, we're going to blast that out as far and wide as possible, so then you have that. But we are looking at something along the I-94 corridor for a distribution point located a little bit closer to Burlington, Kenosha, and Racine. Our next date, the big one, is that the sale starts on September 13th. That's, I believe, the second Friday in September, and so then you can send your kids out the door, start selling. Blitz Weekend for popcorn will take place on September 20th to the 22nd, and that really is just an incentive for you as a unit to kind of encourage your kids to go out and really start working at selling. There'll be prizes associated with that we'll highlight when we get a little bit closer to that. In the past, we've given out robots. We have iPads to give out. So it's going to be a really exciting weekend, and the top 5 sellers throughout the council will be able to receive a prize. So, again, a really good encouragement tool. Then the sale ends on Friday, October 18th, with returns happening the next day at either the Kenosha or Milwaukee service centers. On the 19th, that same day, prize orders will open on Pecatonica's website, so you can start putting in those prize orders. Reconciliation, as I mentioned, will be all online this year, so it'll be kind of a week-long with emails being sent out that Monday. And during this week, you'll be asked to confirm your commission structure. So if at some point during the sale you did want to change your commission structure, you just forgot to do it, this is kind of the last chance to do that. We'll also ask that you, at this point in time, submit all your prize orders, submit your take order, and then submit your council-provided prize orders as well. This is kind of the business week where if you have any questions or anything, then you reach out to us and we'll work with you to make sure that the sale is wrapped up on your end. Take orders are then due that Wednesday, October 23rd, and then take order distribution will be November 6th and November 9th. Again, with C.H. Coakley for units closer to Milwaukee happening on the 6th, and then somewhere along the I-94 corridor on the 9th for units down in Kenosha, Racine, Burlington area. 2 dates that are not included on this that we need to add before we upload this is that on November 12th is going to be when invoices are sent out. This year, Popcorn will not be collecting money at any warehouse. We're not going to be collecting that during Reconciliation Week. Instead, on November 12th, a couple of days after the distribution's done and everything kind of gets settled, then an invoice will be sent out to your units via email and by mail with payment due on December 12th. So full month to take care of that, but we wanted to try and move away from units having to deal with the money stuff at the warehouses. That's already stressful enough. We don't need to add accounting on top of that. And then India with the wreath dates.
So just as popcorn is starting on September 13th, so are wreaths. So we want to keep some similarities, some things in line, so you don't have to keep track of too many different dates. Like I mentioned before, during our incentives, our Blitz weekend starts on September 13th, runs through that Sunday of September 15th. And our sale ends, again, same as popcorn, on October 18th. We're asking for all orders to be submitted online on those on your vendor registration site, and we'll talk about what that looks like in a moment. We're asking for you to input all of those orders by October 23rd. Wreath distribution or wreath pickup, it's the same thing, will be taking place on November 9th. We have 2 locations, State Fair Park and Camp Odakota. Both will be taking place from 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. We're asking that if you receive or if your customers receive any type of damaged products, to please notify our product sales team by no later than November 15th. We're not doing returns of any products, so once an order is placed by the date of October 23rd, that is finalized. But if something is damaged or something's wrong with your product, that we can definitely work to get you something recent in its proper form. We're asking for all payments to be due by December 12th, and we'll send out more information as that date nears. And then we're finishing off with our Fallen Hero ceremony that I mentioned earlier. That's going to be on December 14th at Southern Wisconsin Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Union Grove. And one date that I do want to make sure we add, that's actually going to be at the top, is asking for you all to make those vendor registration accounts no later than August 23rd, which is next Friday. So just going back to the top, just so that we can make sure everyone has an account set in case you run into any issues. We can at least make sure that you have that made before we get further into the sale.
So moving on into some steps to take leading up to the sale. The first and very most important one is to register with Three Harbors Council. So this probably doesn't apply to everybody here, but the very first thing to do is to make sure that you sign up with Three Harbors Council through the link that's pointed out here, just so then we know that we need to be in contact with you about the product sale. If you feel like you've signed up and you haven't been getting communication, I know that that's been one thing we heard at the physical training on Saturday. If you have signed up but haven't been getting communications, please reach out to either myself or India and Popcorn at Three Harbors Scouting.org, as well as Wreaths at threeharborscouting.org, so then we can make sure that you're getting up-to-date information for the sale. The next important thing is to sign up with both the Wreath Company and the Popcorn Company. Both as soon as you land on the product sales page at Three Harbors Council, there'll be a link right beneath where you sign up with the council. Going back to it really quick, both Popcorn and Wreaths have vendor registration and Pecatonica registration. The vendor registration for the Wreaths looks like what you can see on the left portion of this, and I'll let you talk about that in a minute. And the Pecatonica registration is a fairly comprehensive step-by-step guide about how to get logged in if you're a returning colonel or if you're a new colonel, how best to be able to create an account and get set up that way. So Pecatonica, I know, has invested a lot of money into making sure that their online system works a lot better this year, get rid of some of those bugs, as well as provides more features for you as a colonel to see how your unit's done in the past. So it's all step-by-step as soon as you click that Pecatonica registration guide.
And you can kind of see in the screenshot to the right for Wreaths. I just wanted to verbally just make it clear that for our units, you can select your product pickup site based on your choice. It doesn't matter where your unit is located. And it says that for step 1, and you'll see that when you log in as well. So, again, our products will be picked up at either State Fair or Camp Otakota. You can choose whichever site works best for you, regardless of your unit location. But just make sure that you have an idea, you have a decision of which one you're going to choose, because they are two different links, so you can't switch back and forth. So make sure you have one that you're going to stick with.
And then moving into some resources for leaders. So the first is the Leader's Guide with an image that doesn't appear to have completely loaded onto our PowerPoint, third technical issue of the evening, if we're keeping track. So the popcorn and wreath sale guide is, again, one of those things that's going to be available in each one of your starter bags. It's also going to be uploaded as a PDF to our Resources tab. Our Resources tab, as you can see in the screenshot in the top corner, is going to be kind of the go-to destination for any sort of paperwork, any sort of documentations, tips and tricks throughout the sale. This is also where this training is going to be uploaded after we get done here this evening. So check back there often. We'll update that as often as possible with everything that you need to be able to get going with the sale. Uploaded there tomorrow is going to be every PDF from the training from this past Saturday. So again, that's where you're going to find things that you could have picked up on Saturday, but either maybe lost since then, or if you need to be able to get it for yourself or download another, then that's where you're going to be able to do it in easy PDF form. The starter bags are able to be picked up at either the Kenosha or Milwaukee service centers, and that's going to include your Leader's Guide, a tasting kit for popcorn, as well as some of the cool stuff that Pecatonica provides, including a lightsaber this year. So pretty neat stuff. Order forms are also going to be uploaded on Resources. If you want some of the heavier duty order forms or some table tents to bring to things like kickoff dinners, pack meetings, and stuff like that, then those are available for pickup at both the Kenosha and Milwaukee service centers as well. And that's something that will be included in your starter bags as well. And then live resources, of course. If you ever need any help, then you're more than welcome to reach out to either Popcorn or Wreaths at threeharborscouting.org, or myself or India if you have any really, really big questions about the wreath sale. Patty Foiler is monitoring popcorn at threeharborscouting.org and wreaths at threeharborscouting.org. She makes a very, very clear point to make sure that if you do have a question about the popcorn or wreath sale, that you try and direct your questions to one of these emails, not her personal email, just because whenever the sale gets going, she checks that a lot more than her personal email throughout the course of the sale. So we're getting pretty close to wrapping it up. We're at so our pictures didn't work during this presentation, as we've learned. So we're almost done with our presentation. We're wrapping it up with the kind of popcorn end of sale. So again, just to reiterate the return policy for the fall 2019, all products are able to be returned from the show and sell order so long as they're not damaged. This does include chocolate able to be returned, so long as it's not melted together and become one giant clump of blah, then we'll be happy to take that back for you. And it is easy to tell. And that will be done again at October 19th at both the Kenosha and Milwaukee service centers. Reconciliation Week, as we kind of discussed earlier, will be the final week to wrap up and confirm several of the parts of the sale to make sure that you're able to kind of close everything out and you're ready to move on to the next thing in scouting. And then payments, again, invoicing is new this year, sent out on November 12th with payment due by December 12th.
So I just wanted to highlight once more our Fallen Hero wreath-laying ceremony. So again, that's going to be on Saturday, December 14th, starting at 9 a.m. at the Southern Wisconsin Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Union Grove. So like I said earlier, our Fallen Hero wreaths are donations because those physical wreaths will be used at this ceremony. All are invited to attend. It's not just unit leaders or members. It can be scouts, families, and friends to join in placing wreaths on the graves of veterans that have laid down their lives in service to the country. And so by partaking in the Fallen Hero wreath donations, you will be helping us honor over 12,000 Fallen Hero heroes at this cemetery. And like I said before, with one of our changes for the sale, we are asking that all units sell a minimum of 10 fallen hero wreaths in order to attend this ceremony. So just wanted to highlight that once more. And that's all that we have for our presentation. So now we're going to open it up for questions.
Yeah, so to answer some of the questions that have come in during our presentation here, chocolate items are able to be returned. So chocolate items, for those who might not be familiar, popcorn, we have chocolate-covered pretzels are actually our biggest hit, so not even popcorn. Chocolate-covered pretzels, we have some various chocolate-covered popcorn as well. That, again, as long as it's not melted or anything like that, you're able to return it, whereas in the past that wasn't allowed. But we hope that you go out there and sell all of it instead. For Pecatonica, the question is, do you have to re-register at the Pecatonica website and the wreath sale? So for Pecatonica, you're able to use your same login information as last year. And if you do have any questions about recovering that, because we all forget passwords and stuff like that sometimes, we're happy to help out with that as well, to work with our Pecatonica team if you do need any assistance there. And then India for wreaths.
So for wreaths, obviously, like I said before, you have to re-register, but you can use that same information. You can use your same email address, same username, password, because the system has been wiped clear. So to the system, it'll be brand new. So you are able to use that same information. You just have to re-register your account with that.
So the lifesavers that come in the starter bag, those are kind of an example of one of the prizes that Pecatonica hands out throughout the sale. So that's something that you as the popcorn kernel or as a leader can use kind of at your own discretion. If you want to give that to a scout, if you want to use that kind of as a recognition item, you absolutely can. If you want to keep that for yourself, then there's nothing that says you can't do that either. So whatever you want to use it for. So question is what the difference is between a take order and a show and sell order. So a show and sell order is kind of where you put all the popcorn in a wagon and start walking around with it going door to door, but you have the product on hand to be able to sell. Take order is where you walk around with the order sheet and you take people's orders, you collect their money, and then you come back with it later in November to be able to deliver it. So sometimes people prefer to do that if they want to save popcorn for like Christmas gifts and stuff. Question is, what percentage of PAC revenues do most folks give to scouts versus keep for general PAC revenue? That really depends on the PAC. So we don't really care at the council level what you decide to do at the PAC level with your funds. Some keep it all in general operating funds. Some use scout accounts. It's really whatever your PAC's comfortable with tracking and what you want to use as an incentive for your scouts to get out there and sell. A question of what do most PACs primarily focus on, show and sell and take order? It really depends. Some units really, really do well with show and sell. Some really, really do well with take order. One of the things that we didn't address during the training here this evening and is going to come out in the next couple of days is selling at places like Pick and Save. Festival is a new addition this year, and then Discovery World for some of our units that might be closer to Milwaukee. So within the next couple of days, when we get it finalized with each one of those vendors, there's going to be instructions about how to sign up for each one of those places to go out and sell at storefronts and stuff like that. So units that really, really do well during the show and sell sale usually participate with one of those vendors or have a really, really well-oiled machine when it comes to going out and hitting the neighborhood. One thing that we'd highly recommend whenever you do kind of go door to door is to try and wear the fullest uniform that you can, to really represent that you're not selling popcorn, you're selling the scouting program, that the youth isn't trying to get you to buy some kernels that you're going to enjoy and then forget about, but really put an investment into your youth going to camp and stuff like that. So with the show and sell, very much depends. Some units really like it, some prefer to do the take order, but again, it completely depends on what the unit's comfortable with. Bless. And if you have any other questions, feel free to keep sending them in. We don't really have anything else to present here this evening. Like we said, there's going to be most of the updates are going to come via the resources tab on threeharborscouncil.org. So you'll be able to go there and find and download really whatever you need. Living resources, you're always again welcome to contact us. We're always happy to help. We really want you guys to be successful. Really thank you guys for all the time that you are investing as a leader, as an adult, as a parent, into taking this responsibility on for your units as well. We definitely recognize that it's no small feat, but we definitely want to support you however we can in making sure that your PAC is having fun with the sale, is getting the revenues that they need to be able to go out and have fun, and try and make this as easy as a process and as fun as a process again for you guys.
I just want to take the time if there are any more questions to submit before we close out for the evening. Feel free to send those in.
If not, then I believe we will go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. Again, thank you all for participating with our Fall Product Sale 2019 virtual training. If you do think of anything right after this, feel free to again reach out to us, and have a wonderful, wonderful sale. Thank you.